기도하심으로 손목자집사님 고별예배를 시작하겠습니다. We will commence the farewell service for Deaconess 목자손 with a silent prayer. I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no longer any sea. I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride beautifully dressed for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, Now the dwelling of God is with men, and he will live with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. 사망 권세를 이기시고 부활 승천하셔서 잠자는 자들의 처음 익은 열매가 되신 우리 주님의 이름을 찬양합니다. 생명의 주요 생사화복의 주관자 되신 하나님, 이 시간 주님께서 사랑하시는 딸 손목자 집사님의 장례 예배를 위해 이곳에 모였습니다. 예수 그리스도를 믿고 구원받은 손목자 집사님은 이곳에 머무실 것이 아니라 예수 그리스도께서 호령과 천사장의 소리와 하나님의 나팔 소리로 이 땅에 강림하실 때에 다시 살아 영화롭고 영광스러운 몸으로 변하여 영원히 사실 것을 믿습니다. 이제 우리도 소망 없는 다른 이들과 같이 슬퍼하는 자가 되지 말게 하시고 오직 다시 만날 소망을 주셔서 무슨 일을 만나든지 흔들리지 않게 하옵소서. 특별히 유가족 한 분 한 분을 하늘의 위로로 덮어주시고 이 땅에서도 잘되며 하나님의 영광을 위해 세상을 위해 크게 기여하게 하옵소서. 오늘의 고별예배 가운데 주님께서 함께하여 주시고 순서마다 은혜와 평강으로 충만케 하여 주시기를 원하올 때 우리의 부활과 생명 되신 주 예수 그리스도 이름으로 기도드립니다. 아멘. 이 시간 찬송가 171장을 부르시겠습니다. Let us sing hymn 171 together.
Oh 하늘에 계신 우리 아버지, 우리 하나님, 우리는 지금 말할 수 없는 슬픔과 섭섭함과 아픈 마음 가득한 고통스러운 이 자리에 모였습니다. 나는 부활이요 생명, 나를 믿는 자는 죽어도 살겠고 살아서 믿는 자는 영원히 죽지 아니하니 이것을 내가 믿으라. 예, 그렇습니다. 우리가 믿습니다. 그러나 당장은 너무 안타깝고 아쉽고 벅차오르는 슬픔을 금할 수가 없습니다. 손목자집사님 언제나 잔잔한 미소로 웃음으로 친절함과 섬김으로 격려를 주고 위로를 주고 희생으로 누구에게나 사랑과 용기를 불어넣어 주었던 하나님의 여종이시오. 주의 몸된 교회의 충성스러운 일꾼이요 만국 어린이들의 어머니 성김의 모델이 모범이 되셨던 하나님 나라의 일꾼이셨습니다. 좀더 오래 귀한 사명을 감당하고 어둡고 깜깜한 세상을 살리는 밝게 하는 사명을 감당하셔야 하는데 왜 이렇게 슬쩍 떠나셔야 하는지가 놀랍고 슬프고 가슴 아파서 울고 있습니다. 참으로 안타까워 한숨 쉬고 있습니다. 우리가 그렇게 매달려 하나님 앞에 기다리고 초조하게 기다리는 회복을 기다리고 있었는데 하나님의 뜻이 되신 줄로 믿습니다. 성령님 이 자리에 임재하셔서 우리 한 사람 한 사람의 상한 심령 속에 위로와 평강을 주시기를 기도합니다. 우리는 주의 말씀을 의지하고 힘을 얻을 뿐입니다. 만일 땅에 있는 우리의 장막집이 무너지면 하나님께서 지으신 집 곧 손으로 지은 것이 아니고 하늘에 있는 영원한 집이 우리에게 있는 줄을 아노니 집사님은 바로 그 집에 들어가 안식을 누리시기 시작한 줄 믿습니다. 집사님은 지금 셋째 하늘 낙원에 끌려 올라가서 말할 수 없는 영광을 누리기 시작한 줄 믿습니다. 산자들의 하나님 아버지의 집에 들어가셨어. 아브라함과 이삭과 야곱과 더불어 영원한 영광을 누리시기 시작한 줄로 믿습니다. 하나님 아버지께서 마련해 놓으신 그 하늘의 한성에 입성하신 줄 믿습니다. 결국은 우리가 다 함께 부활하여 영원한 천국의 영광을 함께 누리면서 함께 종려나무를 들고 주님을 찬양할 때가 올 줄 믿습니다. 그때까지 우리 모두를 믿음에 굳게 세워 주옵소서. 바라옵기는 귀한 여정이 이 땅에서 사랑으로 수고한 사역과 기관들이 헛되지 않고 그의 공력이 불에 않고 계속 열매를 맺어갈 수 있기를 기도합니다. 무엇보다도 불시에 아내를 잃고 슬퍼하고 있는 우리 손영은 박사님, 주님만이 주시는 위로와 평강 새 힘으로 함께 하시고 붙잡아 주시기를 간구합니다. 두 아들과 자손들에게 주님만이 주시는 사랑과 위로가 충만하도록 함께해 주시기를 간절히 기도합니다. 이 고별예배가 야곱의 장래 예배처럼 하나님께 영광이 되기를 기도합니다. 예수님의 이름으로 간절히 기도하옵나이다.
손목자 집사님의 양력을 여기 집사님의 여동생 되시는 김윤경 권사님이 소개해 주시겠습니다.
고인의 양력, 노르고 주변서 손목자집사 1942년 5월 11일 김택밀과 장비녀의 6남매 중 장녀를 출세. On May 11, 1942, she was born to Kim Tae-mul and Jang Bin-yeol. She was the eldest of 6 children. 1964년 서울중앙대학교 약대 졸업. In 1964, she graduated from Chunghwa University College of Pharmacy in Seoul. 1965년부터 1968년 대전과 서울에서 약국 병영. 1965 to 1968, she opened pharmacies in Daejeon and Seoul. 1968년 6월 15일 손영환과 결혼. On June 15, 1968, she married son Young-han, later David's son. 1969년 7월 11일 부군을 따라 미국으로 이주, 뉴저지에서 거주. On July 11, 1969, she followed her husband to America and lived in New Jersey. 1979년 메릴랜드로 이주. In 1979, she moved to Maryland. 1981년 부군과 함께 ICT 회사 창립, 부회장 역임, 인천국제공항 건설 및 준공. In 1981, she founded ICT with her husband and served as a vice president. ICT was the leader contractor that built Incheon International Airport in the 1990s. 1996년 워싱턴 가정상담소 이사장 역임, 한인장학재단 이사 역임. In 1996, she served as a chairman of the Washington Family Counseling Center. She also served as a director of the Korea-US Scholarship Foundation. 2007년 메릴랜드 사법공천위원으로 역임. In 2007, she was appointed by Governor of Maryland as a Judicial Nomination Commissioner. 2008년 부군과 함께 iGlobal University를 설립, 부총장 역임. In 2008, she helped found iGlobal University with her husband and served as a vice president. 1998년 현재까지 나라사랑 어린이회 창립, 한국의 굶주린 아동들을 도움, 글로벌 어린이재단 창립, 세계 불우 아동들을 도움. In 1998, till present, she founded the Korean Children Foundation to help feed starving children in Korea, later renamed to Global Children Foundation, to expand its mission to underprivileged children around the world. 2024년 10월 5일 하나님의 부르심을 받은 On October 5, 2024, she received God's calling home.
At this time, we'll have a eulos. 이 시간 고 손목자 집사님의 남동생 되시는 김민수 집사님의 추모사가 있은 후에 손녀인 손아나, 애나 손의 첼로 연주와 함께 손목자 집사님의 추모 영상을 시청하시고 이어서 손목자 집사님이 글로벌 어린이 재단과 관련하여 인터뷰하신 내용이 담긴 추모 비디오를 함께 시청하시겠습니다.
사랑하는 누나 손목자집사님을 주님 품 안에 보내드리며 추모사를 시작하겠습니다. 저는 국민학교 시절부터 어떤 날 선생님께서 김민수 네가 김목자 동생이구나 하시면서 오늘 이 시간까지 손목자집사님이 동생으로 살아왔습니다. 어떤 때는 그게 기분이 별로였으나 그게 항상 자랑스러웠습니다. 6남매 중 장녀였던 손목자집사님은 자상한 우리들의 눈에 앓고 언니였습니다. 예쁘고 똑똑하고 공부도 잘하는 손목자집사님은 부모님한테도 사랑스럽고 자랑스러운 딸이었습니다. 1950년대 말에는 여름방학이면 제1교포 고교야구단이 조국에 와서 시방교기를 하였습니다. 대전에서 열리는 시방교기 때에는 손목자 누나가 제1교포 야구단 환영사를 하기도 하셨습니다. 그러면 저희 집안의 자랑이기도 하였습니다. 태어나면 헤어진다는 것을 알고는 있었지만 식구로서 손목자집사님의 죽음을 받아들이기에는 너무나 안타깝고 슬픈 마음입니다. 손목자집사님은 이 시대를 살았던 많은 여성들의 로망이었던 현모양처의 삶을 살으셨다고 생각합니다. 늘 겸손을 강조하셨고 예의 바른 삶을 몸소 실천하셨습니다. 두 분인 손영환 박사님을 잘 보필하셨으며 두 자매를 훌륭히 잘 키우셨고 우리 형제들을 한 곳에 모이게 하셨고 특히 어머님이 사시는 아파트에서 반경 10마일에 살도록 인도하셨습니다. 한 가지 아쉬운 점은 내년엔 식구들과 같이 다 함께 여행하자고 저와 약속하셨는데 하늘나라에 계신 부모님이 빨리 만나고 싶으셨습니다. 그래도 예수님을 너무 사랑하셔서 주님 품 안으로 가신다는 것이 정말 감사합니다. 특히 우리 내연이신 손영환 박사님과 자녀분들께 이름의 말씀을 부탁드립니다. 마지막으로 바쁘신 중에도 가까이서 또 멀리서 손목자집사님이 고별예배에 참석해 주신 조문객 여러분께 진심으로 감사의 말씀을 드립니다. 감사합니다.
We started as having children. There is still a lot of children needing food and education and guidance and health and everything, but we couldn't go that far yet.
Right. 34 countries.
Yeah, we just provide the food first at this point. Okay. We want to eliminate child hunger. Really. That's what the first priority. But we love to have children to learn. Of course, so many things. So here and there, we still have heart. Everybody who comes to our organization has a heart for the children.
Of course.
So as long as people gather, people participate, then we can go. Someday, we're going to be gone. Old people is going to be gone. A new person comes, keep doing it until this world,
there's no hungry children.
No hungry children.
That sounds great.
That is our, the vision. Actually, our vision. As you know, the children, they have right to be fed.
Oh yeah.
They have the right to be loved. They have the right to be, well-being. And the parents, as a parents, grown-ups, they have duty to feed them.
Yes.
That's what I think. They have duty to feed them. They have duty. This is not matter you like or not.
Right.
Grown-up has to have some kind of obligation to the children.
Yes, I agree.
That one has to be go a long way in Africa and some Asia, Middle Asia. All over the place, they still children are starving.
Yes, in Central Asia too.
Besides, heart goes there everywhere. We have about 4,000, 5,000 members.
Oh, that's great.
They don't donate every single the month, but they kept doing it. As of now, it's not that big, about 250 per year.
Oh, that's great.
250 or 300.
It makes a huge impact. So we're going to take your business card for the Little Children Fund, and we're going to blow your vision in here, and then we're going to place the card in here. Alright. So that no child goes hungry, and it is the parents' duty and obligation to feed and educate and clothe their child. So with a big saranghae, with a big heart.
This way.
If you feel called, please feel free to reach out to www.globalchildren.org. So thank you, Kim Song, for being here today and joining us. And we really appreciate all the work that you do. Your story really touches my heart in so many different ways. And we hope to get this out to our viewers and out to the larger audience for more members. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
방금 전 시청하신 영상에 이어서 글로벌 어린이재단의 이서희 이사장님 나오셔서 추모사를 해주시고, 이어서 손목자집사님의 차남 되시는 손진석 에드워드 손의 추모사가 있겠습니다.
사랑하는 가족 여러분, 그리고 글로벌 어린이 재단의 소중한 회원 여러분, 또한 이 자리에 함께 해주신 믿음의 동역자 여러분, 오늘 우리는 큰 슬픔 속에서 이 자리에 모였습니다. 너무나 갑자기 우리 곁을 떠나신 그 손목자 전 이사장님을 추모하며 그분의 헌신과 열정을 기억하면서 82년간의 삶의 발자취를 기리기 위해서 이 자리에 함께 했습니다. 고 손목자 전 이사장님은 글로벌 어린이 재단의 창립 멤버로서 고 방숙자 명예 이사장님과 함께 글로벌 어린이 재단의 초석을 가지신 분이십니다. 1998년 한국이 IMF 사태로 인해 굶든 아이들이 넘치자 이를 돕기 위하여 몇 분의 어머니들이 모여서 글로벌 어린이 재단을 오늘날 창립했고 오늘날 59개의 어린이들을 지금까지 600만 불이 넘는 후원금으로 돕고 있으며 명실공히 큰 자선단체로 성장했습니다. 고 손목자 전 이사장님은 아이들의 행복과 미래를 위해 평생을 보내셨습니다. 힘들고 소외된 아이들을 먹이고 입히고 교육시켜서 미래에 대한 꿈을 심어주며 희망의 씨앗을 뿌리셨습니다. 그러한 열정과 헌신으로 인하여 글로벌 어린이 재단은 내년인 2025년 52곳 후원지에 70만 불이 넘는 후원금을 예산을 세워서 도울 예정입니다. 고 손목자 전 이사장님, 당신의 열정과 헌신을 기억하면서 당신이 시작한 이 고귀한 여정을 오늘 이 자리에 모여서 당신을 눈물로 보내는 글로벌 어린이 재단의 회원님들이 이어나갈 것입니다. 당신이 남긴 사랑과 아이들을 위해 세우신 모든 꿈은 저희가 계속 이어나가겠습니다. 생전에 꼭 완성해야 과제라고 하시던 글로벌 어린이 재단의 정관 개정과 수정을 고 손목자 전 이사장님의 리더십 아래 올 6월 정기이사회에서 3분의 2의 표결로 통과되었을 때 눈물 글썽이시며 기뻐 좋아하시던 모습이 아직도 눈에 선합니다. 아직도 할 일이 많고 당신이 필요한데 뭐가 그리 급하셔서 저희 곁을 떠나셨습니까? 당신의 잔잔한 미소와 명철한 판단력과 글로벌 어린이 재단에 대한 청사진이 아직도 필요한데 우리를 떠나가시니 빈자리가 너무나 큰 것 같습니다. 이제 우리 곁에 계시지 않으시고 우리 곁을 떠나셨지만 삶으로서 저희에게 모범을 보이신 당신의 발자취를 저희 모두는 따라갈 것입니다. 당신의 빈자리는 크고 슬프지만 저희에게 보여주신 비전을 이어나가도록 할 것입니다. 고 손목자 전 이사장님, 그동안 참으로 수고가 많으셨습니다. 이제는 고통과 아픔이 없는 저 높은 곳에서 영생을 누리옵소서. 감사합니다. 글로벌 어린이 재단 이사장 이서희 아침입니다.
Check. Hi, I'm Eddie, the second son. On behalf of my father, my family, my extended family, welcome you. Thank you for coming to support my mom's life, her memories, her legacy. When thinking about what to share about my mom, for some reason, the theme of food just kept resurfacing. And because food represents more, it's because food represents more than just sustenance. It embodies sharing, selflessness, sacrifice, and kindness toward others. I'm sure many other Korean mothers approached feeding their kids similarly to my mom, in that they wanted to make sure their kids were well fed, since they themselves did not have much food growing up in war-torn Korea. But I just feel like my mom was a little extra here. Not only did she want to feed us 3 square meals each and every day, but I feel like she wanted to make sure we had food in between our meals as well. In short, not only were we never really hungry, but I think I actually learned how to overeat. Legend has it that my mom, while pregnant with me, craved Burger King Whoppers. Somehow I feel like those Whoppers permanently melded to my body, which is why I can stand here before you today with this incredible physique. My brother, on the other hand, I think my mom had craved water and crackers while pregnant with me. Growing up in New Jersey, my brother and I were indoctrinated into eating pizza. It was our favorite food. I recall when my mom came home with pizza, my brother and I would fight over which half we would claim, while my mom looked on helplessly, wondering if she would ever even get a bite. I seem to recall my brother and I would play rock, paper, scissors, with the loser having to give her a single slice from their half. Over time, we both did learn to each give a slice from our half. So she could have not 1, but 2 whole slices. Anyway, this is all to say that it really makes sense why my mom started Global Children's Foundation. Since my brother and I became adults, and this robbed my mom of her enjoyment of feeding us, she decided to move on to feeding other kids. But in all seriousness, she simply believed it was every parent's obligation and responsibility to feed their children as well as any child who was hungry. She experienced so much poverty, famine, and starvation in her youth that she never wanted anyone else to experience that. Not only is this the heart of a mom, but this is the unique heart of my mom, one that will work for positive change to benefit others, when no one else might be willing to help answer the call. My mom started GCF in our basement with just herself, her computer, and a dream to get others involved. She had no corporate sponsors or marketing and advertising budgets or salaries. Even spreading the word about GCF was all via word of mouth. The goal was to ask members to donate 1 meal per month for a year. That translated into $10 a month. Members would have to donate and get nothing in return. 100% of all membership fees would go toward feeding children. All overhead costs and expenses, including hiring administrative staff, would come out of the pockets of the GCF board members. This is the selfless desire my mom had for GCF. Now, 25 years and thousands of members later, GCF operates around the globe and has fed a multitude of children. She used all her resources, physically, financially, and spiritually, to help others. She truly put her faith into action as she embodied James chapter 1, verse 27, where he says, "Pure and undefiled religion in the sight of our God and Father is this, to visit orphans and widows in their distress, and to keep oneself unstained by the world." My mom would have wanted others to know that you don't need to have huge working capital or a super complex business strategy to make a difference, but that all you need to do is to start somewhere and put one foot in front of the other and allow your vision and passion to energize those footsteps, and God would do the rest. People look at my mom as some amazing pioneer or visionary, but she would be the first to say she's pretty ordinary. Don't get me wrong, she is the most special and spectacular woman I've ever known. But I believe she is so because of her selfless desire to serve God and to serve others first and foremost. She would have wanted others to believe anyone can do what she's done if, number one, you're obedient to God's word and calling, and two, you give him your best effort each and every day, living for others and not yourself. That is a true mark of my mom's legacy. Before she left for her multi-country Asia tour this past month, I hadn't spoken to my mom for a few months, but for some reason, during the week when she was leaving, I decided to call her to talk about our upcoming Thanksgiving plans for this year. Little did I know it would be the last time I ever spoke to her, so I'm especially thankful to God for that prompting. But I'll always remember and cherish our parting words, which were as simple, I love you, and we'll see you soon. I know death is not a fun subject to discuss, but death is simply a part of life. The difference between living 50 years, which I am now, or 100 years is negligible in light of eternity. And if we say we follow Jesus and are his disciples, he promises eternity to us. Then why are we counting individual years as if it's some huge accomplishment or some badge of honor? No, my mom, now gone to be with the Lord at age 82, has done and accomplished more for God than many others who have lived decades longer than her. So I believe life is about the measure of how one has lived and served God, and not the timing and nature of his or her death. My mom is in eternity in the presence of God. She has no more pain, no more sorrow, no more suffering, and no more sin. She's in paradise. I look forward to paradise one day as well, and I know I'm not even promised tomorrow, only today. So today, my mom reminds me I have hard work to do for God. If you are a follower of Christ, you have work to do too. My mom would have only wanted all of us to give our best to serve him and to serve others. If you want to remember today and for the days and years to come, remember that that's what she would have wanted, for you to glorify God in your life in the ways he has called and gifted you. So in closing, I say to my mom, know that I'm eating well. I'll miss your warm hugs, your happy and loving voice, and your beautiful face. See you soon. I love you. Goodbye until later. Your son, Eddie.
우리 손목자집사님이 아드님의 이 조사와 또 신앙의 고백을 통해서 무엇보다 기뻐하실 줄 믿습니다. 세대를 또 이어서 이렇게 신앙이 이어지는 건 너무나 감격스럽고 귀한 조사 나눠주셔서 감사합니다. 이 시간에는 조가가 있도록 하겠습니다. 신윤수 집사님의 조가가 있겠는데 본명은 은혜, 그레이스입니다. 이어서 손녀, 손아나, 애나 손, 그리고 장남, 손진평, 지은 손의 추모사가 있겠습니다.
안녕하세요. 안녕히 계세요. 감사합니다. 사랑해. 갈미. These are the only Korean words I knew growing up because my harmony speaks perfect English. I didn't have to learn her language be loved by her. My name is Anna, and I'm Kim's oldest granddaughter. Ever since me and my sister were little, my harmony loved us, told us she was proud of us, and prayed for the best for us. She used to gaze down at us with a smile and tell us that one day we would grow up and she would be the one looking up at us. Since she only had 2 sons, she was so happy to have 2 girls to spoil. When my parents went away on trips for their anniversary, we got to stay at Harmony's house, which was fun because there were a few less rules than at home. I looked forward to eating Harmony-cooked breakfast each morning, watching the game show channel, and playing at the playground. We liked the yogurt drinks, so she always kept some in the fridge for us. Harmony always supported me and my sister's performances, all of our music concerts and dance performances. She would always be there and bring us flowers. Last year I had a concert and I somehow managed to forget to invite her, but she still showed up. Harmony was the center of her family. Nothing exemplified this more than the huge gatherings she had at her house for Thanksgiving each year. In addition to her 5 siblings, their families, and family friends, every year there were also other guests she opened her home to. On the Thanksgiving table would be chon, japchae, and galbi, which is why I knew that word, and all kinds of Korean foods. But there would also be a turkey, a ham, stuffing, and all kinds of American foods. Harmony was Korean, but Harmony was also American. Harmony never got older, and she never slowed down. She traveled the world with Haraboji. She devoted her time to GCF. She worked at iGlobal and supported Haraboji's work. She loved trying new experiences and new foods, and was always learning new things. Just recently, she learned how to edit videos, and this year she took a photo editing class. Over the course of my 24-year life, of course, she must have gotten 24 years older, but to me, she never seemed to change. Every year for our birthdays and Christmas, she'd give us gifts and cards that said she was proud of us and wanted us to be happy and healthy. She would call us beautiful and smart and tell us she hoped we could do the things we're good at and love to do. The only Korean in the cards was "생일 축하합니다," because that was the only thing I could understand. My COVID skill was Korean, and by the time I graduated university, I had gone from nearly 0 to working fluency. Suddenly, I could learn her recipes in Korean, ask her about her childhood before she came to America, and pick her for her little speech habits in Korean. The cards started coming in full Korean too, because she knew I could understand. In my graduation card, she confessed she was worried for me when I initially didn't want to go to college, but she patiently waited and prayed for me. And I think that shows her approach to love. She was patient, she was sacrificial, and encouraging, and she never criticized, but instead took her worries to God. I think it's a testament to who she is that all of you are here today. She touched so many people with her love. She gave generously, and God blessed her in return. To me, she will always be an example of who I should become. Someone who loves those around them without holding back. And someone who trusts in God with their whole life. I'll miss her so much. Thank you.
My name is Gene. Although I look younger than my brother, I'm actually the elder of the two of Kim's sons. It's been 45 days since my father called me to rush to Korea to be by my mother's side, hoping against hope that she would wake up. My mother left us too soon, too suddenly, with no warning. We were not prepared for this. Like most of you, I'm going to miss everything about her. Her warm smile, her warm hugs, her thoughtful generosity, not so much to me, but everyone around me. Her vibrant spirit and adventure. But right now I want to focus on and celebrate the example that she was to me and just that she set. My mother was born during World War II in the northernmost province of what is now North Korea. When she was just 2, her family moved south to Incheon near Seoul to escape communist influence. But then the Korean War came, and her home was completely destroyed. As homeless refugees, they fled another 100 miles south to Daejeon, a city in central South Korea, and eventually settled there, slowly rebuilding their lives after the war. Her desire to help people who were suffering from the after effects of the war, including her own experience, led her to pursue a pharmacy degree in college. But after graduating, she opened a pharmacy of her own in Daejeon. It was at that pharmacy that she met and eventually married the man who would become my father. She followed him to America. 9 months after she arrived, I arrived. What struck me about the first home I remember growing up in was that we were the only Asians, let alone the only Koreans. Yet, I never felt foreign or out of place. Like other kids in town, I played Little League baseball, took piano lessons, had a skateboard, played catch with my next door neighbor, played in his treehouse, picked berries from bushes across the street, had birthday parties at my house and at other people's houses. Despite my mom's unfamiliarity with her new country and with the language, my mother did everything she could to make my life feel normal. When I was 7, my eyesight had already begun to go bad, and I needed and got glasses. However, I refused to wear them at school, and my mother found out. So, one day, despite her poor English and her appearance different from everyone else in the town, she walked boldly into my classroom, stood in front of the class, and explained to a bunch of second graders that I needed glasses to see the blackboard. And she made me put my glasses on in front of the entire classroom. Nearly 50 years later, I can't take those glasses off. Maybe if I have LASIK or contacts, I'll need my mother to actually stand in front of the world and say, I don't need glasses anymore. Unlike my brother, I had always been very skinny growing up. So my mother worked extra hard to try and feed me. She would often cook up a huge tray of Korean meat, such as bulgogi or kalbi, and serve it to us with rice and kimchi. For me, Korean food was a tasty luxury because we were mostly eating typical American meals: hamburgers, pizza, spaghetti, Hungarian goulash. I distinctly remember more than once, though, sitting down to eat. My mom would jump up as I started to eat and say, "Do you want more? I can make more." I barely started my first dish, and she would run back to the kitchen and prepare more. I never felt like I could run out of food around her. I didn't like vegetables. So my mother started making me elaborate omelets for breakfast. They were great. And it's possible I didn't notice the broccoli-shaped indentations. At dinner, she would make bibimbap, which is effectively a mixed bowl of rice, meat, and vegetables. When I began noticing the broccoli, she began chopping them finer. She rarely fought me. She always outsmarted me. She was kind of win-win. She never wanted to fight you. She wanted to work with you, make your life better. When we moved from New Jersey to Maryland, I experienced something close to reverse culture shock. I went from being the only Korean kid in my school to attending a church full of only Koreans, and all the kids could speak English and better Korean than I did. I did try Korean school for a few years, but it was a failure. It was during this time that my father had started his business, and my mother was now helping him at work. So she was both busy working and learning English to succeed at work. So at home, we spoke English. I remember when my friends would come over to our house, my mother would greet them, offer them food, and chat with them. Not only was she making my friends feel at home in our house, but I think she saw those times as opportunities to practice her English. I remember making fun of her accent and vocabulary constantly. And sometimes I wasn't very polite, but she never got angry with me. She was always eager to learn from her mistakes. During my teenage years, I continued to take piano lessons, but I never practiced. I played soccer, but never worked on my skills at home. Maybe she knew I was never going to be a concert pianist or a professional athlete or even a Korean speaker. But she always let me pursue every opportunity. I joined Boy Scouts, ran cross country, played on the junior high golf team, joined the debate team. No matter what I did, or how well or how badly I did, my mother never made me feel like a failure. One thing she did do, she always took me to church. She always made sure that I received a spiritual education. My mother gave lavishly with no expectation of anything in return. Maybe for a mother to her children, this is natural. But to me, her spiritual secret is that she could give to so many more people the same kind of love she showed her own family. Of course, this was evident when she decided to start Global Children Foundation. My brother's already talked about what she did there. She not only wanted to raise the money, but she loved to see the effect of what she was doing. She traveled the world, specifically to places like Kyrgyzstan, Ukraine, North Korea, and China. She delivered the resources in person, met the kids that she was wanting to help in person. She was, to me, the living embodiment of one of her favorite Bible passages, which I found was Philippians 2, 3 through 5. It says, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but to the interests of others. In your relationships with one another, have the same mindset as Christ Jesus." The one day a year she adamantly demanded to have her way, it was so she could host and serve our entire extended family a lavish Thanksgiving dinner. She would prepare way too much food, and we would all gather around the dinner table and introduce ourselves, and we'd all sing, "God is so good." It was a sweet tradition for over 30 years. Last year, my parents moved from their home in Potomac to a condo at Leisure World. My mother could no longer host this Thanksgiving dinner, so for the first time,
last year. My Aunt Jennifer hosted the dinner. In hindsight, it feels like my mother passed the baton. Maybe it was a sign, I don't know. I had begun spending more time with my mother over the past year, and I've been seeing my mother almost every week, often having lunch with her and talking about life and things going on. And I had become kind of her geek squad, helping her out with technical issues and advising her on financial topics as well, and we really enjoyed those times. I thought this was going to go on for years. The day before she flew to Peru was the last time I saw her alive. She was seeing me off from her door, and in the long hallway, leading away, I was walking away towards the elevator, and as I rounded a bend in the hallway, my mother had called out to me, "Look in the mirror." I turned around, and the mirror in the hallway allowed me to see her waving at me around the bend. In hindsight, it was a sweet goodbye. I hate that we will not get to spend any more time in this world together. I'm grateful for each moment I had with her. Can't wait to spend more time with her in the next world. See you later.
오늘도 조가와 또 우리 손녀 또 장남 우리 추모사 감사드립니다. 이 시간에는 상록회 합창단의 조가가 있겠습니다.
집을 사시는 동안 우리 손용환 박사님께서 상록 합창단에 대해서 잠깐 설명해달라고 말씀하셔서 제가 설명을 드립니다. 우리 손목자 집사님의 정말 많은 헌신과 수고가 있는 와중에도 손목자 집사님이 하나님을 찬양하는 일을 참 기뻐하셨어요. 그래서 언제나 어디를 가실 때도 어디를 다녀오겠다고 기도해달라고 말씀하시고 노래 연습을 해오겠다고 친절하게 앞시 나중에도 저한테 이렇게 메시지를 보내주셨거든요. 여기에 우리 아시다시피 우리 상록 회원들은 평균 합창반은 제일 연장자가 92세세요. 그리고 우리 손목자 집사님을 합창반으로 다시 모시고 오시는 분이시긴 하신데 최고 연장자와 평균 나이가 80이신 분으로 이루어지신 합창반입니다. 잘 못하지만 우리 손목자 집사님이랑 함께 부르기로 했던 찬양이었는데 저희들끼리 따로 불러요. 하지만 그 찬양 내용 중에 그날 우리가 다시 만나서 찬란한 영광 가운데 계신 주님과 함께 살리라는 그런 찬양입니다. 그날이라는 찬양을 함께 부르겠습니다.